guys, welcome back. My name is Sarah, and today I'm here to talk about Beast. Now, if you're new here, you may not know, horror, science fiction, thrillers are more my speed. They're my favorite genres. I remember movies like Bats, Arachnophobia. Some of my favorite animal survival horror movies are The Shallows and Crawl. And as you all know, believability is a huge thing with me. It's so easy to just go astray with the story. So let me get back to it. Today we're going to talk about Beast with Idris Elba. In this story, him and his two daughters are traveling to Africa because that is where their mother is from. They want to visit her village there and sort of reconnect and go on vacation because I think it was a year prior their mother passed away from cancer. So this is a very emotional trip and they want to reconnect with their mother through this trip. It's all authentic. Let's just keep it going. A friend of theirs, a family friend, is a game warden there. So it's his job to keep an eye on the animals there, to keep the poachers out, stuff like that. So while on their vacation, they come across a village that has been attacked by an animal. It puts them on edge, so they decide to go and to call for help. And it is while on their way back that they come into contact with the lion that attacked the village and they get stranded. Makes complete sense to me. The opening scene is a group of poachers that attack and kill a pride of lions. Only they don't kill them all. They miss one. I love how the movie starts because it's very, it reminds me of like classic horror movies. It's the middle of the night. It's dark. You can't see anything. There's lots of sounds like, what's that noise? People looking. So they miss one of the lions. They load up the rest and a few stay behind. Again, realistic, believable. What I liked about the movie right away was the camera movement. The camera continuously moves. It moves behind the characters, it moves around them, turns to face them, keeps moving. Slow enough that it didn't like make me dizzy or anything to see it, but just to give you an idea of there's a lot to be looking out for here. You cannot just look straight ahead. You have to look to the side, 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 side. You have to look behind you. It's the middle of the night and you're in the desert and there's a lion loose. So I love that you get like a 360 view of the space. So while I was watching, I was looking. So while I was watching the movie, I was looking out for things like, oh, what's that noise? What's that shadow? You know, the two of them go looking. It gets like quiet, turn around. Your man's is gone. What? Just like that, just that fast, he's gone. So now he's like, where is he? And then he comes into frame, it's like, oh, he just stepped over here for a second. That's how fast someone can appear to be gone. So they keep moving and then they find some tracks and they start talking about how big this lion is and how they need to find him because they killed all of his pride but him. So they have to find him because he will find them. One of the guys disappears, doesn't come back when he's called. Other guy starts moving. Guy comes into frame bleeding. He's like, you run, run. Steps into the trap. The trap yanks him upside down. The camera is moving around him so you can see how like disorienting it is. He's reaching for his gun, but the lion gets there first. And then the next scene is this really dreamy atmosphere. It looks like we're in a cave or something. The walls are all black. The light is very dim. And there are African women of different ages in different clothing walking by, and you hear someone whispering, where are you? And that's when you realize that you're in a dream. And when the dream ends, we wake up and we see our main character, the Idris Elba. And they're in a plane flying into a small airstrip where their family friend will drive them into the village. So, two things I liked right off the bat about this movie. Number one, the pilot was a woman. The movie starts and they're almost there already. So it isn't this whole thing. We just enter the story, only see her for a few minutes, and then that's it. Second thing, the poachers were also being led by a woman. she appears doing little hand signals to them and then gives them the go ahead to go. I was like, I like that too. So they land safely. The kids are like, it's hot. I found that funny. You know, they get introduced to the family friend. I guess they hadn't seen him in a few years. They drive to the village where they go into the house and they all get settled in and they reintroduce themselves to each other. Super cute, made sense. These characters feel very real. They feel very authentic. They get attacked by the lion, and in their attempt to escape, they hit this tree on the edge of this cliff and the car won't start, so they get stuck there. Their family friend who went off to find it, I guess, or like to tranquilize it or just kill it, don't know, because he gets got by the lion and he's like really badly injured. Sometimes in survival horror movies, it seems like the writers or the director thinks that the characters have to be in the most remote and dangerous environments in order to like emphasize that. In this film, it's like there's civilization, there are people, there are communities, they're a little spread out, but they are there. So many things happen that emphasizes the danger. It sort of wears them down. You see it, them becoming more and more worn down by it instead of always having this incredible energy like they do sometimes in horror movies. That's like a thing of mine where people develop skills and abilities that they didn't have before. In survival horror, when they have an unlimited amount of energy and are not affected by the environment, I find that annoying. In this case, everybody's hungry, thirsty, and afraid. People are trying out different ideas. People are saying things that don't matter. People are arguing over things that are irrelevant because this is an extremely stressful situation. Even if something that they say is not relevant, the stress of the situation, I could see that happening. How you gonna start arguing about something that happened years prior in the middle of this situation? Stress. I thought that Idris and the girls had really great chemistry together. I liked that the cast was small because it didn't need to be bigger than it was. I think that it showed enough characters that you really got a feel for the world that they're building through these characters and events. I appreciate the passing of time because, yet again, a pet peeve of mine is when in these survival horror situations, time seems to slow down so that they can cram a bunch of events and characters into something that happens over the course of a single night, and that just doesn't seem to be realistic to me. Here, time does pass. So the poachers come back because they're looking for their people and they're looking for this lion. They get got by the lion. Him and the girls, they find a way to make it to an old school that has been closed that's nearby. One of the girls is injured, so they need to stop. Makes sense. At the end of the story, he decides to draw the line away from them and into one of the nearby prides, which they passed on their way out to the other village. When I tell y'all, this was like one of the most epic animal versus man confrontations, because I'm not even gonna say it was a fight, because it's not. A lion is attacking you. I'm gonna go back to one of my pet peeves. Developing skills and abilities that you didn't have before. That includes strength, speed, and stamina. This is an adult man who appears to be in pretty good shape, but he is not the Hulk. Him versus this lion, it was very realistic. You could see like getting worn down, pain. This lion not just like slashing at him, like grabbing him, turning him over, creeping up on him. All of these different motions and movements. It was a really realistic example to me of this happening. The other lions show up and are like, we don't know you. And they attack this other lion. And at the same time, another warden shows up and is trying to like scare them away from him and go get help. And he has another one of those dreams where he's looking for his ex-wife. I think they did get divorced or were separated, and he finds her, and then next you know he wakes up in the hospital. I love that the story ends with him and the girls going back to their mother's village and taking a photo in front of a tree that their mother used to take photos of, that they don't want to associate this place with this terrible experience. And I just love that. I loved how it ended. Like, he got a cane because he got attacked by a lion. I would give this one I would give it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I surprised myself because, you know, with animal survival horror, you just never know. I like the fact that it wasn't some like a chip in the lion's brain that made this happen, or some weird experiments. That this was, in a way, a natural instinct gone a little haywire. If you're into these kinds of horror movies, I highly recommend Beast. You guys should check it out. I think the girls did such a great job. Their acting was really good. They kept up the chatter. I have a bunch of little girl cousins, and they reminded me of them, actually. The little nonsense fights and chatting and bickering and whatnot. So thank you guys for spending your time here with me today. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time.